Well, I appreciate the commissioner, and I really appreciate what these undercover agents and law enforcement standing behind me have been doing all across the state of Florida. And it's basically keeping our children and young adults and even adults safe. As a mom, it really, really angers me that you have people out there selling this, distributing it, knowing that it's going to cause harm, or knowing and just not caring that this could end the life of a young person. And yet they continue to do it until now, until we have 70 felony arrests for all of this. And I'm just so appreciative of the team who's been able to put this together to make it happen, because when you look at this and you look at how many arrests there have been and how pervasive the problem is, really you've seen good work from FDLE and ABT on trying to crack down on the supply. The other big part of this is the demand, and I think that's where we've really come in and we've tried to do a lot, meaning we've gone into the schools, K through 12 education, with the Facts Your Future drug education campaign. So that's kind of what Nancy Reagan started in the late 1980s with Just Say No. We've tried to really update that with Just Say No, but here's why, and empower kids to be able to make good, informed decisions about the ramifications of drug use, and really doing it in a demonstrative way. So instead of saying you shouldn't do this, it's, well, here's why you shouldn't do this. Here's what it does to your body. Here's what happens when you smoke meth. Here's what happens when you take a small bit of fentanyl, how it can kill you. Here's video of what happens to somebody who had an overdose of fentanyl, and then showing that to them. We've gone all across the state of Florida and we've done assemblies, and this is something that the Department of Juvenile Justice has really put on. And those assemblies are powerful in the classrooms, or with the students rather, because they can see firsthand how problematic drugs are. So when they see a peer who's sitting there telling them, I would do anything to undo the decisions that I've made. I wish I could go back and say I would have taken a different path other than to have done drugs, but I can't undo that now. And when they see that, I think it's very compelling. There was a young boy who gave a testimony in an assembly about doing drugs and alcohol, getting on a motorcycle one night and slamming into the back of a semi. And that was the last thing that he ever saw, because he became blind as a result of that accident. And when we were in Tampa, the governor and myself, and that young man was telling a story to an auditorium of about 300 students, you could have heard a pin drop. And that kind of content for these kids matters. And that's going to help them make a better decision going forward. Also, having a mom of a child who died as a result of drugs, having that testimony in an assembly format is really powerful, because you can see how dangerous this stuff is. Or having law enforcement coming up and talking about the ramifications of it, or a former addict who says, I wish I would have gone down a different path, but now I can't undo that. I think the more and more we do these assemblies through the Facts Your Future campaign, I think the more we're going to be able to empower kids to make better decisions, and to know that doing things like what you see with this nitric oxide can kill you. And so you'll think twice about doing something like this. So it's really about empowering these kids to make better informed decisions. So I'm so proud of the work of law enforcement. I'm so proud of our undercover agents, and we're going to continue to fight on behalf of the families and the kids to help save lives.
Thank you, First Lady. Now I'd like to invite the Lieutenant